loft smell is.
Oh yeah.
So how much of that did I breathe in outside? Yeah, so there's a bunch of fucking wrestling news real quick. I want to rattle that off anyway because I'm going to put it up as a video.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right off the bat, a poor Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Adam Ant, who usually kind of gives us a heads up with things, said this. When she first got cleared again, I want to say about 5 weeks ago, he said that she went to some doctor that was not a quack, but not really respected, I guess. And whatever she got her, approval and clearance from wasn't something that was going to be lasting. It was just a short-term fix. And that certainly seems to be the case because now we're hearing that she was removed from Money in the Bank and different replacement possibilities. It seems that Nikki Cross is going to be the one to replace her. Now, lucky enough for WWE, they set this up the other day.
Yeah.
So they can cover themselves. They can just go ahead and say, well, Alexa is going to have Nikki represent her. So this way, if they wanted Alexa to have the briefcase, and Nikki wins, she can hand it off. They have a way to kind of continue that story of Nikki, working for Alexa. So they still somehow managed to cover themselves, but she's had, many, many issues with concussions for quite some time now.
Yeah.
They've been reluctant to let her compete for quite some time. I mean, they pulled her out of Evolution. That was a huge, loss for her.
Yeah.
Then she wasn't able to compete in the Rumble, I believe, as well at one point, or Elimination Chamber, one of the two. It was one of the bigger matches. Plans have been changed with her.
I think Sasha was
times.
poisoning her. That's what it is.
You never know. She's been leaving, antifreeze in her breakfast.
We also had the Ric Flair story. He was like gonna die any second, and then that came out that that's not the case. Really, he had a planned surgery, and so that's weird. That was a bizarre situation. I mean, thankfully he's okay, I guess, at this point in time. But TMZ originally said that he was in dire straits, and it was a very serious medical emergency. And, he was being, dealing with heart-related issues, and everybody went, just obviously nuts from there. I mean, it's a terrible thing. You don't want to see anything happen to Ric Flair. Uh-huh. But then his son-in-law, Conrad Thompson, came out and told everyone on Twitter that it wasn't as severe, and this was a planned procedure that he was having done before StarCast. And he downplayed the seriousness of the TMZ report. Right.
And I had heard in between that it was something went wrong with the planned procedure, and that's why people were up in arms, that he had either some type of reaction or something went awry in the surgery. So, but we don't know what kind of procedure he was having, but at least it wasn't a, medical emergency in the sense like he had a heart attack or something.
Yeah, that's what we were worried about, and like that's what I thought when they said massive, and it was like, what the hell are they saying? And TMZ was just reporting all this stuff, and then, like you said,
I mean, the first thing comes to mind is how he was just in the ICU for all that point in time for the heart issues. So
right, and it was it really was TMZ that just freaked everybody out for some reason, and then Conrad, like you said, gave the answer to Sean Ross. So, and then we got this Leo Rush photo of him with his bags packed, rolling away. Seems like he's leaving.
Yeah, and we spoke about this on Out of Nowhere last night. Again, Adam Ant and a few others had said that, no, he is done. We'll hear about it, either this Friday or over the weekend.
Yeah, I think Sunday morning, either Sunday before Money in the Bank or Monday morning.
Yeah, after the pay-per-view. I'm going with after the pay-per-view.
I'm going Monday morning too, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny that, we go ahead and Adam said this online, and somebody that takes photos for Leo Rush came through and he's like, oh, that's fake. This is fake news. I don't know why people are saying this. This is this is not something that's true. You're all just trolling. How dare you? And then, today Leo Rush says the past should teach you something. The future should give you hope. Today will very quickly become your past. And he's walking away, like you said, with his bag. So yeah. He made it clear he was not happy with, the pay scale that he was receiving and having to pay for everything out of pocket. He was essentially broke and starving at times. And
he's like, how do I take care of my kids with this shit,
Yeah. It also said that he was rubbing a lot of people the wrong way in the back. And there was a lot of issues in the locker room. And he was also going ahead and bringing his wife around that a lot of people were not comfortable or happy with. And it was also said that him and Finn Balor had some issues. Finn was trying to give him some advice, and he kind of shot it down. And a lot of people felt like that was very disrespectful. I guess him and Finn are good at this point, but still, people just gave up on him rather quickly.
I got some major allergies, so if anybody looking at me in video is like, why are your eyes beaming red? It's from allergies. I was outside chasing the dog, and I'm just getting murdered, man, with these allergies.
Yeah. My daughter is as well. We got to go to the allergist tomorrow. It's been nonstop, and I still sound like garbage.
Yeah, my voice is... I was trying to sing last night and do shit. It wasn't happening.
It just was not working. We also had Brad Shepard talking about a high-level source in WWE is saying that, you know, apparently they're not happy with the current champion and calling them small. So I was trying to find out, you know, more about this. And there's someone on the higher side of the WWE creative side that says, I love your jabs at Gargano and Becky. I'm sure it's good for your business to drive everyone mad. And does he really have 5-star matches? I've never been impressed. I sound old when I say this, but a bunch of kickouts after finishes is not 5 stars. I've never liked the Ciampa Gargano series because those matches should have ended a dozen times. And yes, both guys are small. So someone is really not impressed with either man, you know, referring to Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So
who's just saying this? We don't know.
We don't know specifically, but it's some high-level source in WWE. So some people are just not thrilled with Gargano, Becky Lynch, and Ciampa.
I'm not thrilled with Becky Lynch. I'll tell you that.
I'm not either. And unfortunately, I don't really feel like it's a fault of her own for the most part.
I agree. I think she had something and they let it fall.
Yeah, they really did. They did her wrong many times, and she got, you know, scooped up into the creative machine. It just devalued her character so much that it made her, you know, just certainly less hot, and her stock fell quite a bit as time went on. The interest factor flew out the window, and she really tried to keep it going with all the posts on social media and keeping up appearances, and she really delved into this man character. When she left to go and film the Marine movie, you know, apparently HBK gave her a bunch of advice telling her to come back in and you know, really keep your head up, but be more confident and kind of have a new character. And she tried to embody that advice as much as possible. And we saw that going forward. And the fans obviously couldn't get behind a heel turn. They liked her too much to boo her. They tried to make us boo her.
Yeah.
You know, she lashed out at the fans a few times, but people wanted to cheer her. The more she said she loved herself, the more we fell in love with the new Becky.
It seems like she's been really given nothing to do, though. Once she hit those moments of, you know, oh, that was cool, they kind of just, they have nothing creative for her to do. The most creative thing they did with her themselves, because the Nia Jax punch was an accident. That invasion thing was a good idea, but then the blood really made it what it was, and that was an accident.
Her not falling to the wayside or covering her face or anything, her standing there bleeding, that image really resonated with people. Like, wow, she is a tough bitch, a real badass.
But the thing with the cars before WrestleMania, that funny, that I thought bad, it like so bad it's funny.
Oh, the arrest.
Yeah,
segment that they had.
Some people loved it, but I thought it was ridiculously hilarious. I don't think it was a good thing, but it was funny as hell. But at least it was something. And I think
but even that, most of the focus was paid on Ronda there.
Right.
Ronda was the one getting kicked, and Charlotte was the one kicking. And
you know, I think you're right about that. But I mean, I think they had equal, you know, in a way, it was supposed to be equal time. But
yeah,
she was the champion,
it just felt
too.
like it was always the Charlotte show post Survivor Series. And that,
I didn't feel that way. I did feel. I mean, I'll tell you. Maybe it was. It could have very well been that, and maybe it's just me. I was just, you know, ignorance is bliss, maybe. But my ignorance allowed me to kind of feel it was pretty equal, but
get sucked into it.
Well,
and the thing is,
not be upset by it.
That's what resonated so well with fans originally. People didn't want to see Charlotte anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that her namesake was giving her essentially an unfair advantage. She was getting time and time and time again these high caliber matches and main events. Not that she's not worth her weight in gold. She absolutely is. But, she was the one that didn't have to compete in qualifying matches. She always just made it to the main event. She always got rematches and title shots, and other people were not given that equal opportunity. So when we saw, storyline-wise, Becky finally snap after Charlotte won the title at SummerSlam, and she beat down Charlotte, the crowd just, felt vindicated. Yes, kick her ass. We don't want to see her, be the champion yet again. And everyone fell in love with that badass character that just wanted to stand up for themselves. And then, like you said, the Survivor Series, build-up worked really well with the invasion angle. It really made her seem that like a true badass and a bit different than what we were used to with the women.
Uh-huh.
And then, unfortunately, her injury postponed the Ronda Rousey match. And from there, they couldn't get it right. They had her lose the title, so Asuka gets the championship in the triple threat. Charlotte basically cost her that, so Asuka gets the benefit. Then she faced Asuka at Royal Rumble. That match never should have happened.
Right.
There was no reason to have her lose that night. So, a big loss. I know they're trying to build up Asuka, but they could have avoided that entirely. And as you said, you hit the nail on the head. They didn't know what to do with her. And rather than just have her, kind of stay to the side and have a mini feud with someone else, they wanted her to be the focal point. But really, she shouldn't have been. She should have just came in, did the kind of Stone Cold thing where, you come out, you whoop some ass, and you go in the back. Right. There was a point in time where Stone Cold would come out, stun somebody, and leave, and that's all you needed from him. It kept him in the fans' minds. He was still the top guy, but he didn't have to, have 3 or 4 programs going on to get to the main event with him and The Rock.
I agree, and that's what's missing. This is intensity and other stuff that's missing. We've been over it so much. Guys, that's really it. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about some of the stuff that happened today. Leave it in the comments below if you guys have any questions about anything else, comments about this. Leave a like if you can. And a longer episode. If you guys want more of this, me and Jake are going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, including I'm about to talk about Star Trek's leaked photos from the set of the Picard show that's coming out, and I'm concerned about it, but we'll talk about it there, or in a clip on the Corrupted Nation channel. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you later as my eyes bleed allergies. My face is ridiculous. At least Ric Flair's okay.
Thankfully.
See you guys later, and see you on Patreon.